Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 93 of the Hangout with Coach Kerry show. Wow, 93. My 100th episode is coming up, and you've absolutely got to be on that one live. That will be my last regular Hangout with Coach Kerry show, Mondays at 9 a.m. Pacific. And so it's going to be lots of fun. I'm going to have lots of VIP panelists who've been on in the past join me, and they're going to be making special offers for you. So there's going to be lots of great deals for you to have. And then after that, what will happen is from time to time, as I come across a great expert that I'd like to interview, or there's something that's happened in my day-to-day coaching of entrepreneurs all over the world, just like you, I will share that wisdom or that little piece, that case study with you so that it can help you improve your business. So I'm really excited about today's episode number 93 because we're going to really talk about your brand promise and why it's really important to identify what that is and how that will set you apart from your competition. You know, there's a lot of noise out there in the marketplace. You're probably in your marketplace, you can probably identify a number of competitors, people who offer what the public would see as to be the same thing. And so how do you set yourself apart? What makes you unique? And that's what our topic is going to be today. So grab a pen, stay tuned to the very end so you're going to get all the pieces in this. And I would love for you to share this episode once you've watched it with anyone that you know. Please, you can go to my website, hangoutwithcoachkerry.com. It's right below here, spelled Kerry. And on that website, you will be able to download a book called How to Get Out of Overwhelm and Accelerate Your Results Now. And who doesn't experience some overwhelm at some point? And I've got some great tips and strategies. I'm really known as the expert in small business and really the how-to girl. So, the how-to coach. So you're going to get practical, down-to-earth bits and strategies for your business from me. So go to the website, download that ebook that's there. It's free for you. And then you'll get notices about upcoming episodes and expert interviews to keep you in the loop, and some new products that I'm going to be coming out with this year in programs so you can get more of what I have to offer. You can see behind me here, I've got a big whiteboard, and this is where I do my strategic planning. I'm going to be offering a program called the Strategy Map to help you really plan your business and to differentiate. You don't need a tome, you don't need War and Peace. What we really need is just that guide map to help you get where you need to go. So marketing is one component of that. In order to have a clear marketing strategy, you need to know what your overall strategic plan is and what those goals are that you want to achieve. So it's really important for you to be able to identify some of these pieces ahead of time. So we're going to talk about this brand promise. So our topic today is identify your market and your brand to market to your and your brand promise so that you can be competitive in business. And of course, competition, we know we want to be competitive. We want to get our fair share of the pie that's available there. So that's what we want to talk about. So we're going to talk about today why you need to have a big, hairy, audacious goal, a BHAG, as I like to call it, why that's important, how to define your sandbox, how to define what's unique to you, really how to determine what your customers' needs are. That's a really key piece because then you can market to them because you're offering a solution to what they need. Also, you need to be able to measure your brand promise. That's a really key piece so that how are you going to measure that at the end of the day? What do you tell people you're going to do? And is there some way that you can measure whether you're delivering it and they can measure whether they've received it from you? So that's we're going to kind of close off with that. And then in addition to maybe taking a look at somewhere where your bottlenecks are in being able to get that out into the marketplace. So let's start with the first piece, and that's what I call the big, hairy, audacious goal, the BHAG. So why is that important? Well, having a goal, having a really big goal comes from having a really clear vision of where you want to take your business. Unless you're really clear where you want to take your business, anywhere will do. And so it's really important that you have a really clear vision, and that vision will set the focus and set the pace on where you're gonna go. And in addition to that, then it's going to help you set those big, hairy, audacious goals. And now, why do they have to be big and hairy and audacious? Well, the reason is that because unless there's something that you're passionate about, unless there's something that gets you excited, unless there's something that you say, yeah, I really want to go after that, you're really it's gonna be lackluster. And if you don't have passion in your business right now, I tell you, it's going to show up everywhere. It's going to show up in the copy you write for your website. It's going to show up on any copy you write for any sales letters you have, or any brochures you're doing, any Facebook posts that you have that you're promoting everything. You're going to see that that passion is lacking. It's going to improve your telephone conversations. You know, when you have a prospect on the phone and you're talking to them, if you don't have that passion, if you aren't really clear where you're going and you're really driven to get there, well, then, it doesn't really matter. And they're going to sense that you don't really care. And it may not even be the words you use, but it's going to be that energy that you have. When you're speaking passionately from your heart and you're engaged in it, people are going to sense that. People want to be around people that are up to big stuff, and they're going to find a way to be engaged with you somehow if they sense that you're up to big stuff, because people want that. There's enough of mediocre around in the world today. They need that energy. They want to be around people like you. It's also going to show up in your networking. When you go to a networking event, and if you're kind of, well, it's been a bit of a tough year, but I'm hoping this year is going to be better, versus I am really excited about the goals I've set this year. I've got, they're really going to stretch me, but I'm really passionate and working about getting to them. I mean, that which of those would attract you if you met somebody at a networking event and you were talking to them? Well, I think it's pretty self-evident. That was really a rhetorical question, I hope. So, it's going to show up there, and it's going to show up every other place where you show up. So you need to do a check right now. Where is your passion meter? Where are you on that scale of, am I really excited about my business? Am I pretty lackluster about my business? And you need a passion injection. And you may just be worn out. You may just be tired of working really long hours. So you may just need a break. And sometimes, there's a false economy about working really long hours and just pushing through things. Often we get more done when we're refreshed, when we've got a shorter timeline, and when we're not burnt out. So maybe what you may need to do in order to get some passion injected in your business is take a break. It may mean you need to take a workshop or a seminar. You may need to hire a coach. You may need to listen to some inspirational tapes. You may need to focus that. It's kind of like a sailboat. Without a rudder, it's going to kind of go anywhere, and, the sail's going to flap in the wind. So what you need a rudder in the ground. You need something to continually be setting your course. So figure out what that is for you so that you are passionate about your business. And if really, I'm going to say, if doing those steps, you kind of say, oh, I don't really feel like it, then bail. Get yourself out of your misery sooner rather than later, as I say, and go find something that you are passionate about. So let's assuming that you are passionate, or at least you're going to do a passion injection. And then what's the next piece? Well, defining your sandbox, really defining where you are in your marketplace. That's a really key piece, because if you try and be all things to all people, you will appeal to no one. So you have to be able to identify what specifically, is my niche in the marketplace. What am I going to play in? Who are the people I'm going to deal with? So you have to answer some of these questions, because this is all part of your value proposition, which is what I promised to talk about today. In order to identify your value proposition, you need to know who your customer is. You need to know, so that's really clear. You need to know, what do you offer your customers? What is different about what you do? But what do you offer them? Get really clear on that. Who are you? What sets you apart from the marketplace? I know for me, I'm different than other business coaches out there. Now, if I just said I was a business coach and they didn't have an opportunity to hear my voice or hear my passion or understand that I'm a real practical, down to earth, strategy related business coach, then that's different than other coaches that are more about, rah. Now, there's a time and a place for everything. And do I inspire my clients? Absolutely. But for me, it's about clarity, strategy, accountability, really clear road to, track to run on. It's like going on a vacation, planning where your starting point is and where you're finished and what you want your trip to be like. All of that. That's the kind of coach that I am. So I'm really clear on who I am in the marketplace, and that I'm not for everybody. I'm really for the savvy, business owner that really wants to take their business to the next level, that they're, 6 figures, maybe already doing 6 figures, and they want to stretch to 7 figures. So that's why that big, hairy, audacious goal comes into play, because I'm looking for people to work with who are really up to big stuff. Really, honestly, if whining and complaining is where you are in your business, then I'm not the coach for you. And in fact, you need that may be something that you need to work with a particular coach on, and to maybe shift that for you. The kind of clients that I like to work with are clients who know where they want to go. They know they can get there better with the support of somebody who's encouraging, inspiring, giving them track to run on, helping them with clarity and strategy, and holding their feet to the fire through accountability. As I like to say, I'll put my boot, firmly planted on your behind. So I think that's a perfect example of who I am. And that's my value proposition. That's what makes me unique in the marketplace. I have my reasons, I have my story, and you have to have your story. You have to have your hero's journey as why you're doing what you're doing, so that they understand that you've been there where they are, that you can help them get where they need to go. So that's a really, really key piece of this piece about your sandbox and your value proposition. You also understand, who you want to work with, like who is that ideal client, how much do you give to them, get really clear on that. What is the scope of the work that you're going to do, and what's their customer benefit experience? What are they going to experience of working with you? Clients working with me tell me that they become inspired, and I think it's because that's one of my values is to offer inspiration to people. So that's one of my fulfillment needs in the world, is to be inspiring. And in addition to that, because I provide them that clear track to run on, they can kind of get out of that fog of, oh, I don't know where I'm going to be. They're kind of overwhelmed, or they don't know really where to land, and I can help them go straight forward with that. So you see, I'm really clear on the sandbox I play in, who my customer is, what is my value proposition in the marketplace. And that's what you need to do for yourself in terms of setting yourself apart from your competition, so that brand proposition for you is really, really clear to them. Because then when you write your copy, when you go to networking events, when you're writing brochures, when you're doing any of that kind of sales copy, when you're having conversations on the phone, you can talk about what makes you unique in the marketplace. What is your value proposition? So, because that's what really I want to know. What they want to know, what's in it for them. Any potential client, prospect, customer out there in the marketplace really only listens to one radio channel, WIIFM. What's in it for me? They want to know what's in it for them. So when you're telling your story, you have to make it so that they can see that there's a benefit of you having been there, and that's what's going to be in it for them. So really understand that your value proposition is tied into how it's going to benefit for them, and what they're going to get. So this is all going to help you stand out from the crowd, because again, it's pretty noisy out there in the marketplace. There's lots of competition out there. So you want to be really clear, because your raving fans are also going to be able to articulate what's different about you than anyone else, because you've been able to articulate it. So it's a really, really key piece. So I also promised today that you are going to, so we've defined it. We've talked about your big, hairy, audacious goal and how that ties into your vision. We've talked about defining your sandbox and your value proposition. That's really important. Now, the next piece is you have to identify what your customers' needs are. And this is where you want to think about, what is the problem that my customer, client, the marketplace that I'm going after, that niche that I'm going after, what are their needs? What is the problem that they solve, and how can I solve that? And this is where, again, trying to be all things to all people will have you resonate with no one. So you want to get really specific, narrow it down. What are their needs? I know for me, mine is that I deal with entrepreneurs that are overwhelmed because they lack that clarity of where to take their next step, what to do in order to break through that ceiling that's there, to take their business to the next level. So I'm really clear, that's the marketplace that I'm after. And what do they need? They need someone to help them with that map. They need that roadmap, that guidebook, that passport of telling them where they need to go. I'm really clear that that's where I am in the marketplace, and I can articulate that in the marketplace as well. So that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to narrow it down and really be specific. I would say that 95% of my clients are going to be female. They're going to be female entrepreneurs who, again, have moved past that low 5-figure income, and they're breaking through the 6-figure income, and they're thinking, wow, could I actually do, solid 6 figures? What would it look like for me to do 7 figures, to really be in that place where they can see that? And that's the kind of client that I go after, and I can speak to them. So you really want to get clear on what your customers' needs are. That's really important. Now, and I have walked through this more on other Hangout with Coach Kerry episodes. So please do go back and check out some of those videos again on my website, hangoutwithcoachkerry.com. Now, you also want to have some way that you can measure your brand promise. What is that promise? How can you measure that? Well, for me, it's for me to be able to see that I can see clients actually moving forward with their plans. I can see their feet are on the ground, that they're actually taking action and they're moving forward. So that can show up in dollar results. It can also show up on a whole list of things that they've had ready to implement and they haven't yet. So now this list of things have moved forward. They've been able to identify who their client is. They're actually getting clear. They're doing some branding. They're walking out with more confidence in the marketplace. And guess what? They're attracting new business to them. So they can start seeing that. So I have, I do, and my clients have a measurable piece that we can look at. So what's yours? Think about your business. How would you measure the results that clients are getting, your clients' customers are getting from you? How would they measure that? Make sure that you're really clear on that, so that then you can help them recognize when it's happening as well. Because then they're going to be thrilled with you. They're going to come back. They're going to recommend. They're going to become raving fans. So the last piece of this episode is to really look at where the bottlenecks are. So you want to look at where are some of those bottlenecks in getting now your brand promise out to the marketplace. Do you have, is your website copy consistent? Are your brochures consistent? Is your business card consistent with that message? Do you have your, 30, 60-second sort of infomercial? Is it consistent? Because consistency and congruency is one of the most important things in terms of your brand. If someone experiences you one way and then another way, isn't that going to be interesting? I'm just going to tell you a little pet peeve of mine is that sometimes that people will have on a website a photograph of them, and then when people meet them, they're very different than that. You have to be congruent. If you're a casual person, then then you need a website and you need a brand that actually fits who you are, that resonates with you, that speaks who you are, so that you're not so that you're not being inconsistent. Because one of the easiest ways to damage this brand that you work so hard on is to be inconsistent. So if you say you're going to do certain things, then you have to follow through with that. How you do anything is how you do everything. And so with your brand promise, it's really, really important that you are consistent all the way through with that. So look at where those bottlenecks can be. Look at where the challenges are. Are you trying to do everything yourself? Do you need to hire professionals in order to be able to move things forward? Do you need people to write some copy that's really in alignment with who you are? So look at those bottlenecks and getting that message out to the marketplace, because as soon as you get that message that's consistent and clear, people can identify who you are. If you've identified their needs, then you will knock it out of the park in comparison to your competition, because I guarantee you they're floundering. They're not clear. They're just chasing after any opportunity that comes along. Oh, here's an opportunity to do business. Oh, some money, I'm going to run over this direction. Oh, here's a potential new customer base, I'm going to go over that direction. And what happens is they confuse the marketplace, and a confused marketplace does not buy. They will not support you. They want to know consistently over and over again that you are who you say you are and you deliver what you promise. So I know I've covered a lot today. I hope you've taken some great notes. Please make some comments on the blog below this, either in Facebook or if you watch this on my Facebook page, if you watch this on my YouTube channel, or whether you watch this at my Hangout with Coach Kerry website. Please do comment. I'd love to hear from you. Share this with your friends and family who are in business that might benefit from this. I really appreciate the opportunity to do what is important to me, which is to inspire you to be more successful in business, to reach those goals so that you can have your dreams and reach your dreams. So remember, Monday mornings, 9 a.m., we've got 6 more episodes coming up, and then we're going to go to remounting maybe some of the past ones and some expert interviews, but 6 more experts. So I really hope that you tune in and help me share this message out to other people just like you, so they can stop struggling, stop being overwhelmed, and have the success that they want. So thank you, everybody. Please go to my website again and download that ebook, and we will talk to you real soon. Take care. Have an awesome and inspired week. Bye-bye.